The natural world is full of extraordinary creatures. Each has found a unique way to survive. Among these, the ruminants stand out. Think of the gentle cow in a field, or perhaps a graceful deer in the forest. These animals share a remarkable secret. It lies hidden within their bodies. It is a digestive system unlike most others. This system allows them to eat food that many animals cannot. They thrive on tough grasses and plants. This ability is truly a marvel of evolution, a testament to nature's ingenuity. These creatures, from the smallest antelope to the largest giraffe, have perfected the art of processing plant matter. Their lives revolve around finding and eating plants. This might seem simple, but the plants they eat are full of cellulose. Cellulose is a tough material. Most animals cannot break it down easily. Ruminants, however, have a special solution. They possess a complex stomach. It has multiple compartments. Each part plays a crucial role. It is like an intricate factory. This factory turns coarse vegetation into life-giving energy. Observing them, one sees a calm exterior. Yet inside, a bustling world of activity is constantly at work, ensuring their survival in diverse environments across our planet. This unique digestive journey is fascinating. It involves chewing, swallowing, and then something quite unusual. They bring the food back up to chew it again. This is called chewing the cud. It might look a bit strange to us, but it is a vital step in their digestion. It helps to break down the tough plant fibers further. This process allows for maximum nutrient extraction. It is a slow, deliberate method. It ensures that no goodness from their food is wasted. It is a patient process, perfectly adapted to their diet and their often predator-filled surroundings, allowing them to eat quickly and digest later in safety. These animals are more than just grass eaters. They are living examples of adaptation. Their bodies show how life can find a way. They can turn simple plants into muscle, milk and energy. This ability has shaped landscapes. It has also played a part in human history. We have relied on animals like cattle and sheep for centuries. Understanding their digestive secrets helps us appreciate them even more. It is a journey into a world of biological wonder, a world where tough grass becomes the fuel for life. We see them as placid, but they are masters of a complex internal alchemy. Let us journey into the body of a ruminant. Here we find not one stomach, but four. These are not just simple bags, they are distinct compartments. Each has a special design and purpose. The first and largest is the rumen. Next comes the reticulum. Then we find the omasum. Finally, there is the abomasum. These four chambers work together in a precise sequence. They form a production line for digesting tough plant food. This multi-chambered system is the hallmark of a ruminant. It sets them apart from animals with a single stomach, like ourselves or a dog. Imagine these chambers as different rooms in a factory. The food, mostly grass or leaves, enters the first room. This is the rumen. It is a vast fermentation tank. From there, the partially processed food moves to the reticulum. This chamber has a honeycomb-like lining. It helps to sort particles. The omasum is next. It looks like the pages of a book. Its job is to absorb water. The final stop is the abomasum. This is often called the true stomach. It functions much like our own stomach. It uses acids and enzymes to digest food further. This four-part system is incredibly efficient. It allows ruminants to extract nutrients from food sources that others cannot. Grass is abundant, but it is difficult to digest. The cellulose fibers are strong. Without this special system, these animals would not get enough nourishment. The journey of food through these chambers is slow. It can take many hours, even days. This slow passage is key. It allows time for all the complex processes to occur. Each chamber prepares the food for the next stage, ensuring complete breakdown. The sheer size of these organs is also impressive. In a cow, the rumen alone can hold many gallons. It can be up to 150 liters or more. This large capacity is necessary. It allows the animal to store large quantities of forage. They can eat quickly when out in the open, then they can retreat to a safer place. There they can begin the long process of rumination, or chewing the cud. This adaptation is vital for survival. It minimizes their exposure to predators while maximizing their food intake and processing ability. The rumen is the first and largest chamber. It is truly a remarkable place. It is not just a storage sack. It is a bustling ecosystem. It is teeming with billions and billions of microorganisms. These are tiny living things. We find bacteria, protozoa, and fungi. These microscopic helpers are the real stars of the show. They do what the ruminant itself cannot. They break down the tough cellulose in plant cell walls. This process is called microbial fermentation. It is a partnership between the animal and these tiny organisms, a symbiotic relationship where both benefit. When the ruminant swallows its food, it goes straight into the rumen. Here, the food mixes with saliva. It also mixes with the existing contents. The microorganisms immediately get to work. They begin to ferment the plant material. This fermentation produces volatile fatty acids, or VFAs. These VFAs are very important. They are the main source of energy for the ruminant. The animal absorbs these VFAs directly through the rumen wall. This is a unique way of getting energy. It is quite different from how most other animals get their fuel from food. The rumen environment is perfectly maintained by the animal to keep these microbes happy and productive. The rumen also produces large amounts of gas. This gas is mainly carbon dioxide and methane. It is a natural byproduct of fermentation. The ruminant must get rid of this gas. It does this through a process called eructation. This is essentially burping. If the animal cannot release these gases, it can lead to a serious condition called bloat. This shows how finely tuned the system is. The rumen is constantly churning. This mixing action helps the microbes. It ensures they have continuous access to fresh food material. It also helps move fermented food to the next chamber. Furthermore, these microbes do more than just digest cellulose. They also synthesize valuable nutrients. They can produce B vitamins. They can also create amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. They can do this even from simple nitrogen sources. This means ruminants can thrive on diets that might be deficient for other animals. The microbes themselves are also a source of protein. As they pass out of the rumen with the food, they are digested further down. This provides the animal with high-quality protein. It is a truly self-sufficient system within the animal. Connected directly to the rumen is the reticulum. It is often considered a partner to the rumen. Together, they are sometimes called the reticulorumen. The reticulum has a very distinctive internal lining. It looks like a honeycomb. This structure is not just for show. It plays a vital role in sorting the food particles. As the rumen contents slosh around, some of it enters the reticulum. Here, the work of selection begins. It is a clever piece of natural engineering. This chamber acts like a gatekeeper for the digestive tract. The reticulum's main job is to separate coarse, undigested fibers from finer, well-digested material. The larger, rougher particles need more processing. So the reticulum helps to send them back to the rumen, or it helps to form them into a bolus, or cud. This cud is then regurgitated. The animal chews it again thoroughly. This is the famous chewing the cud. This rechewing breaks down the fibers further. It also mixes the food with more saliva. Saliva is important because it buffers the rumen environment, keeping the microbes healthy and active. This process of regurgitation and rechewing is vital. It greatly increases the surface area of the food particles. This makes it easier for the microbes in the rumen to attack and ferment them. The reticulum also has another fascinating, if sometimes problematic, function. Because of its position and action, it can trap heavy objects. If a cow accidentally swallows a nail or a piece of wire, it often ends up in the reticulum. This can sometimes puncture the wall, leading to a condition known as hardware disease. This highlights the non-selective nature of their initial grazing. Once the food particles are small enough, they can pass from the reticulum. They move onward to the next chamber, the omasum. The sorting action of their reticulum is continuous. It ensures that only properly prepared material moves forward. This careful regulation is essential for efficient digestion. It prevents the later parts of the system from becoming overwhelmed. The reticulum's honeycomb structure and muscular contractions are perfectly designed for this task. It is a small but mighty component of this complex digestive machine, ensuring everything flows smoothly. Section 5, the omasum, the water master. After the reticulum, the finely ground food mixture enters the omasum. This chamber is quite different in appearance. It is a round, muscular organ. Its interior is filled with many broad, longitudinal folds or leaves. These are often described as looking like the pages of a book. This is why the omasum is sometimes called the manyplies or the book stomach. These folds dramatically increase the surface area within the omasum. This increased surface area is key to its primary function. It is a marvel of compact design. packing a lot of functional tissue into a relatively small space. The main role of the omasum is to absorb water, and it does this very efficiently. As the soupy mixture of digested food passes between these leaves, water is squeezed out. A significant amount of water is reabsorbed back into the animal's bloodstream here. This is important for water conservation. It also concentrates the digestive material before it moves to the abomasum. Some absorption of volatile fatty acids and electrolytes also occurs in the omasum, but water absorption is its star performance. This dehydration of the digester is a crucial preparatory step. The muscular contractions of the omasum also help to grind the food particles further. The material is passed between the leaves. This action can further reduce particle size. It ensures that the food is in an optimal state for the final stages of digestion. The omasum acts as a pump. It regulates the flow of digester from the reticulorumen into the abomasum. This control is important. It prevents the abomasum from being overloaded. The contents of the omasum are noticeably drier than those in the rumen or reticulum. The exact extent of the omasum's function can vary slightly between different ruminant species. Some animals that live in very dry environments might have a particularly well-developed omasum. This would help them to conserve as much water as possible. It's another example of how these animals are adapted to their surroundings. The omasum is a critical checkpoint. It ensures the digester is properly prepared. It makes the final enzymatic digestion in the abomasum more effective. Its quiet efficiency is vital to the whole process, a silent worker doing an indispensable job. Section 6. The abomasum, the true stomach's work. Finally, the processed food arrives in the abomasum. This fourth and final chamber is often called the true stomach. This is because its function is very similar to the stomach of a monogastric animal. Monogastric means having a single-chambered stomach, like humans or pigs. Unlike the rumen, reticulum and omasum, the abomasum secretes digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid. These substances are essential for breaking down proteins and other remaining nutrients. It is here that chemical digestion, as we typically understand it, really takes hold. The environment inside the abomasum is very acidic. This acidic condition is created by the secretion of hydrochloric acid. This acid helps to denature proteins. This means it unfolds them. This makes it easier for enzymes to work on them. The main enzyme secreted here is pepsin. Pepsin breaks down proteins into smaller peptides. The abomasum also digests the microbes. These are the bacteria and protozoa that flowed out of the rumen. These microbes are a rich source of protein for the ruminant. So the animal is not just digesting plants, it is also harvesting its own internal helpers. The abomasum has a glandular lining, much like our own stomach. This lining produces the acid and enzymes. The muscular walls of the abomasum mix the food with these secretions. This ensures thorough digestion. Once the food has been sufficiently processed in the abomasum, it is passed on to the small intestine. In the small intestine, further digestion and absorption of nutrients take place. This is similar to what happens in other mammals. The abomasum, therefore, acts as a bridge. It links the unique fermentation system of the four stomachs with the more conventional digestive processes that follow. It is fascinating to see this transition. The first three chambers are all about pre-processing. They focus on microbial fermentation and physical breakdown. The abomasum then takes over with chemical digestion. This dual approach allows ruminants to get the most out of their challenging diet. Without the abomasum, the valuable proteins, including those from the microbes themselves, would not be properly utilized. It is the final critical stage within the stomach complex. It ensures that the animal receives a full spectrum of nutrients before the food moves on for final absorption. Section 7, a tale of two tummies, ruminants versus others. The digestive system of a ruminant is a specialized masterpiece. It stands in stark contrast to that of non-ruminant animals. Non-ruminants, like horses or rabbits, are often called hindgut fermenters if they eat a lot of plant fiber. Others, like humans, dogs or pigs, have a simple single stomach. We call these monogastric animals. The primary difference lies in where the main fermentation of plant fiber occurs. In ruminants, this happens at the beginning of the digestive tract in the rumen. This is foregut fermentation. The early fermentation has profound implications for nutrient availability. Non-ruminant herbivores, such as horses, also rely on microbial fermentation. However, this process occurs much later in their digestive system. It happens in an enlarged cecum and colon, which are parts of the large intestine. This is called hindgut fermentation. While effective, hindgut fermentation has a key disadvantage compared to foregut fermentation. The valuable microbial protein and B vitamins produced by the microbes are largely lost. They are produced after the main site of absorption, the small intestine. Ruminants, by contrast, digest these microbes in their abomasum and small intestine, gaining these nutrients directly. Monogastric animals with simple stomachs like us cannot digest cellulose at all. We lack the necessary enzymes. We also lack a large fermentation chamber filled with helpful microbes. We rely on easily digestible carbohydrates, proteins and fats. If we eat a lot of fiber, it mostly passes through undigested. It acts as roughage, which is good for gut health, but not as a primary energy source. Ruminants, on the other hand, have turned this indigestible fiber into their main source of sustenance. This ability allows them to occupy ecological niches that are unavailable to many other animals. Another key difference is the process of rumination itself. Chewing the cud is unique to ruminants. This repeated chewing and mixing with saliva optimizes the conditions for microbial fermentation. It also significantly reduces particle size. Non-ruminants do not regurgitate their food for further chewing in this manner. The complex, multi-chambered stomach of ruminants is also a defining feature. Non-ruminants have a simpler, single-chambered stomach, or in the case of hindgut fermenters, a simple stomach followed by a highly developed large intestine. These anatomical and physiological distinctions are fundamental to their different dietary strategies. Section 8. Curious cud chewers, fascinating facts. The world of ruminants is filled with surprising details. For instance, a cow can spend up to 8 hours a day just chewing its cud. That is a third of its day dedicated to reprocessing food. During this time, it can produce an astonishing amount of saliva. A mature cow might produce between 100 to 150 liters of saliva per day. This saliva is not just water, it contains bicarbonate and phosphate buffers. These are crucial for maintaining a stable pH in the rumen. This stable environment keeps the hard-working microbes happy and efficient. Without this copious saliva, the rumen would become too acidic. Another interesting fact concerns newborn ruminants. When a calf, lamb or kid is born, its rumen is not fully developed. For the first few weeks of life, it functions more like a monogastric animal. It relies primarily on milk. The milk bypasses the rumen and reticulum. It goes directly to the omasum and abomasum. This happens via a special feature called the esophageal groove. This groove forms a temporary channel. As the young animal starts to nibble on solid food, its rumen begins to develop. The microbial population also starts to establish itself. This transition is vital for its future as a grazer. Did you know that not all cud chewers are true ruminants with 4 stomach compartments? Camels and llamas, for example, also chew cud. However, they have only 3 stomach compartments. They are often called pseudo-ruminants. Their digestive process shares many similarities with true ruminants, including microbial fermentation in the forestomach. But their stomach anatomy is distinct. This shows how evolution can arrive at similar solutions through slightly different paths. The ability to efficiently digest tough plant matter has evolved multiple times, highlighting its importance. Moreover, the gases produced in the rumen, primarily methane, have become a topic of environmental discussion. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas, and livestock, particularly cattle, are significant producers. Scientists are actively researching ways to reduce methane emissions from ruminants. This includes dietary modifications and feed additives. Understanding the intricacies of rumen microbiology is key to finding these solutions. It is a reminder that these fascinating biological processes can also have wider global impacts. The delicate balance of nature is always at play, even within the stomach of a cow. Section 9. Guardians of the grasslands, their vital role. Ruminants are far more than just producers of meat, milk and wool for humans. They play an essential ecological role in many of the world's ecosystems. Particularly in grasslands and savannas, these animals are keystone species. Their grazing activities help to maintain the health and diversity of these habitats. By selectively eating certain plants, they prevent dominant species from taking over. This creates space for a wider variety of plant life to flourish. This in turn supports a greater diversity of insects, birds and other animals. Their grazing also stimulates plant growth. When grasses are grazed, it encourages them to send up new shoots. This can lead to more vigorous and productive grasslands. Their hooves can break up hard soil surfaces. This allows water to penetrate more easily. It also helps to trample seeds into the soil, aiding germination. Their dung is also a vital contribution. It returns nutrients to the soil, acting as a natural fertilizer. Dung beetles and other insects quickly break down the dung. This further enriches the soil and supports the food web. These animals are natural recyclers. In many natural systems, wild ruminants like bison, antelope and deer are part of a dynamic balance with predators. This predator-prey relationship helps to keep ruminant populations healthy. It prevents overgrazing. When these natural systems are intact, ruminants contribute to the overall stability and resilience of the ecosystem. They are integral to the cycles of nutrients and energy flow. They have shaped these landscapes over millennia. Their presence is woven into the very fabric of these wild places. Their digestive prowess allows them to convert vast quantities of inedible plant mass into animal biomass, a critical link in the food chain. Therefore, understanding and conserving ruminant populations, both wild and domestic, is important. For domestic species, sustainable grazing practices are key. These practices can mimic natural grazing patterns. This helps to protect soil health and biodiversity. For wild species, habitat protection and maintaining corridors for movement are crucial. The remarkable digestive journey of ruminants is not just an internal marvel. It is a process that has profound effects on the world around them. They are truly guardians of the grasslands, shaping and sustaining the vibrant ecosystems they call home. Their story is one of perfect adaptation and ecological significance.